our two laws for exponents for today. So law 3, which we have titled so fittingly, power to a power. So if you have a base, in our case, we have an x. I hope none of you have ax on this lovely day of love. See what I did there? I'm so lame, guys. But anyway, you have an x and it has an exponent of a. So in this case, you are raising that whole power to another exponent of b. So if you have this case, then you will multiply the exponents. Please do not confuse this law with law number 1. Okay? Do not confuse this law with law number 1. Law number 1 says if you have the same base, you add the exponents. In this case, we don't have 2 bases, we only have 1. Okay? And then law number 4, which we have titled the distributive law. Distributing means you give one to everyone, right? So if you have sweets and you're distributing them, you give to everyone. Like if you got chocolates today for Valentine's and your friends didn't, you must go and practice distributive law and be nice, ne? And go distribute there for everyone. Yes, Justin, only math for now, and mathlet, and mathlet. Okay, so I'm sure you guys have encountered distributive law somewhere before. We have 2 bases this time. We have a y and an x, and they are both raised to different exponents. They're both raised to a and b. So what you do in that case is you take the exponent that is outside and you give it to everybody inside. Okay. After you do that, you apply law number 1 again. So you multiply. I know it looks very doable when you're just watching it. So we're going to practice it just now. By Nele, you're not that late. You are late, but not that late. Okay, so far I've only introduced the 2 laws that we'll be working with today. Okay, so let me recap quickly. Law number 3 is power to a power. So if you have a base, we have an x to the power of a, to the exponent of a, raised to another base, it will be multiplied. So let's do it with numbers. I think numbers make more sense to me. So if I have 2 squared, all raised to the exponent of 3, this will be 2, and I will be multiplying my exponents. So this will be 2 to the exponent of 6, which is 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 times 2. That'll give you 4, 8, 16, 32, 64. Okay, that's law number 1. Law number 2 can't really be done with numbers because then you just like add them. But let's do it. We have a 2 squared, we have a 3 squared, and then outside, okay, outside we have a 3. Everybody has to get a 3. So you'll have 2 times 3, and 3, 2 times 3. Which will give you 2, 6, 3, 6, and you just work that out. Feel like I'm rambling a lot. Is anyone confused? Anybody confused? Are we all with me so far? I am a new learner. Welcome, Oluche. Don't panic. Don't panic. Okay. I am confused. What's confusing you, Hope? We have to get this before we move on and apply these tools. Raise your hand, Hope, so we can speak. Can you please zoom? Oh my goodness, there's a lot going on. Is this too small? Is that what's happening? Let's move this that way. And this one is just K. Hope. Hope. Jeez, that is terrible. I forgot I wrote all over it. There we go. Hope, can you unmute for me, please? There we go. Hi, Hope.
Hi, ma'am.
Where can I help you? Where did I lose you?
Ma'am, I think I got confused when you said I don't understand we multiply in between brackets. I'm not good at working with brackets.
You have to learn, Hope. Math is all about brackets, okay? But don't panic. Just look at this. It's really, really easy. Nah? Don't
Yes,
mute.
ma'am.
Stay with me. Nah?
Yes, ma'am.
If you have, okay, 3 there. This means you have a base of 3, right?
Yes, ma'am.
And an exponent of how much? The exponent is the one that's up here.
An exponent of 3.
Of 4. Remember, the base is at the bottom, base. Exponent is at the top. So your exponent is 4, right?
Yes, ma'am.
So if you have a base and an exponent, all raised to another exponent. You see, I just added another exponent. Now we have 2 exponents. We have a 4 and we have a 2.
3. 2.
You see that?
Yes, ma'am.
So if you have that, then you can just say it is 3, 4 times 2. So you multiply them. That's all I was saying, okay?
Oh, okay, ma'am.
So this will be 3 to the 8. That is the first one. Do you get the first one so far?
Yes, ma'am.
The second one is distributing, meaning giving everyone the same thing. So if you have A and then B, Y. Let's talk about this. All raised to the exponent of M. Let's use M. Distribute. What does distributing mean? Forget about maths. What does the word distributing mean?
It means sharing.
Sharing. So everyone has to get this exponent that's on the outside. You see this M that's chilling on the outside? This one.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Everyone inside the brackets has to get that M. Okay. So you have to give it to A and you have to give it to
B.
B. But when you give it to A and B, you apply law number 1, the one we just did. Okay. So when it gets to A, it's going to be, there was already an X there. Do you agree?
Yes, ma'am.
It's going to be X times the one you are distributing, which is M.
M.
And then you're going to move on to B. There was already a Y times the one you are distributing, which is M. Do you understand now?
Yes, ma'am.
That's what I was doing. I hope everyone else who was confused is back on track with me as well. Where do the 3 come from? I'm not sure. Ma'am, for the first example you did, would you write it like that in a test? Which example would that be, Havana? The reason I use numbers here is just to help you see how it works, okay? In this case, you would just work inside the brackets. I saw someone ask about that. Like, why don't you just multiply the whole numbers that are inside the bracket? You can do that. I was just showing you guys how it works, okay? But in the case of variables, you cannot do that. I mean, if you have X's and Y's and B's, you have to know the rules. Would you have to answer like that in a test? I'll show you right now why we are doing this. Hey, ma'am, which grade does Pythagoras, what? I don't know. Pythagoras starts all the way from primary school. Angeline and Havana, if I still haven't answered your questions, please raise your hands. Now we are going to apply our lovely rules. Okay, let's talk about example 1, number A, okay? Which law is this? Before I do it, tell me in the chat, which law am I going to apply to? Example 1. Number A. Let's talk about number A. We rub all of this stuff out. Sponello. Law 3. Okay, I see in the chat you guys are saying law 3. Sponello.
Hello, ma'am.
Hello.
Ma'am, I just wanted to also answer the question.
Yes, go for it.
So ma'am, didn't you say, ma'am, x2 times 3?
Thank you very much. And that would be x to the How much is that?
6. Half 6.
6. Thank you, Spanelo.
Thank you,
Okay.
ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Siam Tanda, I'm guessing you want to do B with me. I'm hoping that's what it is. Siam Tanda?
Yes, ma'am. For B, I'd say my answer is x 2 times 3, y 3.
Yes, because if there's nothing there, what exponent is there?
It's going to stay the same.
But if there's nothing there, we have a 1. Have you heard about that? We have a ghost 1. So it would be essentially saying 1 times 3. So that would give us x to the exponent of?
X to the exponent of 5.
2 times 3. Be careful, don't add, multiply.
X to the exponent of 2 times 3.
Which is how much?
Y, which is
6, right?
and y,
Mm-hmm.
which is 1 times 3, which will be 3.
3. Thank you very much. Okay, I think now that we are applying it, it's becoming a little bit easier. Okay, hoping that it's becoming a little bit easier. How do we know which law is which? TK, I have put them up on the screen for you. Law number 3 is here on the left. Says if you have base, exponent, exponent. So 2 exponents, that would be power to a power. Okay, so you have a power of A to the power of B, 2 powers. Then you would multiply. Law number 4 is a distributive law. This is when you have multiple bases and then you give it to everybody. Okay, I'm hoping this feels a little bit easier so we can go a little bit faster now. Okay, cool, cool, cool. Let's go. Number C. Who's doing number C with me? Hands raised, number C and number D. But if you're not sure, let's do it together. Narisha, I hope I said your name properly.
Hi, ma'am.
Hello. How do we do this?
First we are going to say 2x times the 2x the power of 2 times 3.
Be careful. Let me stop you right there, right? First, you have to identify how many bases we have before you distribute it, right? So I heard you talk about the x. What about 2? Is 2 not a base?
Yes.
So you also distribute it to the 2. Do you see that?
Yes, ma'am.
But 2 doesn't have an exponent. So I said to you, if it doesn't have an exponent, then the exponent has to be how much? I just say to you, number 3. What's the exponent there? Think carefully. Okay, someone asked me to zoom a bit.
3.
I don't know how that's gonna work. Okay, if I have a 3 there with no exponents, the exponent has to be 1. See in the chat, they're helping you.
1.
Okay. Yes, so if you have a number that's standing on its own, it has to have an exponent of 1. It cannot be 0. It has to have a 1. Remember, the 3 squared means there's 2 of them, right?
Yes, ma'am.
If there's nothing there, it means there's 1 of them because it exists. If it was 0, then it wouldn't be there. Can you see?
Yes, ma'am.
I have zoomed. I don't know if you can't see at this point, maybe it's your screen because I just zoomed now. But do you understand what I mean?
Yes, ma'am.
So we have to use the 2. So let's try again. We're using the 2.
So 2 times 3 equals to 4.
2 times?
3.
No, remember we're distributing the 3. We're not timesing it, it's going in the exponent. So it's going to be 1 times 3. There was nothing there, so there was a 1. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, yes.
There we go. Now let's move on. X
And x
mhm,
to the power of 2 times 3
2 times 3.
and z or y to the power of 2 times 3
2 times 3. And Z,
to the power of 1 times 3.
1 times 3. Wonderful. Okay, let's simplify this, okay? 1 times 3 is how much?
3.
3. X, 2 times 3 is
6.
6. Y, 2 times 3 is 6 again. And
6.
Z, 3. Are we done? Are we done?
Yes.
Check again. We can still simplify. What can we simplify? We can't do anything about the variables, right? But check here.
Yes.
What does 2 cubed mean?
2 times itself 3 times.
Thank you. So how much would that give us?
It will give us 8.
8. Wonderful. So then the final answer will be 8. X to the exponent of 6. Y, 6. Z, 3. Incredible. I see you in the chat as well. Thank you. Thank you so much for doing this with me. You are awesome. Okay. Someone asked to do number D. Now I just have to remember who that someone was. P. Mampuru. Is your hand up? No, it's not. Oh, that's unfortunate. I'm going to take whoever's hand is up. Obuche?
Can't find him.
Hi, ma'am.
Hi.
So, ma'am, I'm doing D,
Okay.
and ma'am, it will be negative 2a to the power of 3 times 4 and b to the power of 4 times 4. Then the answer will be negative 2a to the power of 12 and b to the power of 16.
Okay. Most of that is right, but not all of it. You're making the same mistake. Remember, 2 is inside the bracket as well, right?
Yes.
So you also have to distribute the 4 too. Okay. Do you see that?
Oh, yes.
So this negative
yes.
you leave outside. This negative you leave outside. Let's work with 2. I said if there's no exponent, there's a
There's what is
1.
yes.
So it's going to be 1 times.
Oh yeah, yes. Times
1.
4.
There we go. And then the rest of what you said was correct, ma'am. So 3 times 4.
Yeah.
Then B 4 times 4. We're going to have a
4.
negative
Yes.
outside. 1 times 4 is how much?
It's 4.
4. And then A, you said to the exponent of 12.
It's 12. And
And
B,
B,
it's 16.
16. Okay,
Yes.
equals. How much is 2 to the exponent of 4?
Oh, with times, ma'am. We say
You say 2 times 2 times 2 times 2. 2 times 2
it will be
times.
16.
Yes, it is 16. So you have 16, A 12, B 16. Then this
16.
negative that's outside, a negative and a positive will give you?
A positive. A negative. No, negative.
There we go. So your final answer is negative 16.
It's negative 16. A to the power of 12 and B to the power of
There
16.
we go. Superstar Obushe, thank you very much. Okay,
You're welcome, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
everyone in the chat. This is our check-in point. Are we understanding? Thumbs up, Thumbs down. If you're going to put a thumbs down, raise your hand before we move on so we can talk about it. Okay? Olwabo says thumbs up. Vanna says thumbs up. Charmaine. There's 120 something odd people of you. So I'm expecting way more thumbs up. Nosisa says thumbs down. Kylie, I don't know what's going on there. Sort of, kind of. I think Kylie has more practice. You'll be able. I saw a hand up. Is that a question? Oh, it's gone. Okay, I see more thumbs up in the reactions. I love it. One person said thumbs down. Now I forgot who it is. Please raise your hand so we can talk about it. Please, the one person who said thumbs down, raise your hand so we can talk about it. I know, the more you do it, the better. Jeez, I was supposed to be erasing, not scribbling. No Sisa, yes, it was no Sisa. No Sisa, no Sisa. Let's hear it. Hey.
Hi, Miss.
Where did I lose you, darling?
Miss, on D.
Okay. On D.
Yes.
Do you understand that you distribute the exponent?
Yes.
So first step, you get it.
Yes.
Okay, which step did I lose you? Be specific. So this is step number one.
Miss, it's where you said there's a ghost one.
So step one, if there is a number that's
Yes.
just chilling there, what exponent is on this number, no, Sisa?
It's one, Miss.
That's what I was talking about. I call it a ghost because we don't actually write it, right? When we write numbers, we don't usually write 2 to the 1, 3 to the 1. We just write 2 or 4 or 1. But we know it means 2 to the exponent of 1 or 4 to the exponent of 1 or 1 to the exponent of 1. Do you understand now what I was saying?
A bit.
So that's the ghost one I was talking about. Is that all that was confusing you?
Yes.
So will you be able to try it?
Yes, Miss.
Okay, let's do more examples. And then let's see. Okay, I think we're getting it a little bit more. Ma'am, can we go back to C? Do you have a question about C, Lekotlo? Or do you just want to take screenshots? Let me know. Let me know in the chat if you want to just take screenshots or if you have an actual question about C. Are we still on distributive law 4? Yes. Yes, Chieta. We're doing distributive law and power to a power. So we're doing number 3 and 4. Thank you. You're welcome. Okay. We are moving on to more interesting things. Number E and F. I need new volunteers to do this with me. While I'm doing this with them, you do it on your paper there at home and we compare answers. I need new people to volunteer to do this with me. Number 3 and 4. Who's feeling lucky today? Nope. Do you first want to try it? Maybe I should give you guys a chance to try it. Okay, I see a message. Can I do it? Okay, Spanel is going to do it. Oh, there's hands up. Jeez. Okay, Charity's hand was before yours, Spanelo. So let me hear what Charity has to say first. Charity? Hello? Is it just on my side? I can't hear you, Charity.
I know, I can't hear her as well.
Okay. Ma'am, for this equation, do you leave it as a fraction? You will see just now, Havana. You don't. You keep simplifying as far as you can. Okay, I can't hear Charity. Swanelo? Have you saying yes?
Yeah, ma'am. Hello, ma'am. So what I actually do, ma'am, you see, ma'am, 2x squared times 2 and y cubed times 2 over 4x 1 times 2 and y 1 times 2.
What happens to the 2 and the 4, guys?
Ma'am, you move the 2, ma'am, to the bottom, ma'am, then you say 4 divided by 2.
You cannot do that. Okay, guys, let's talk about this. Okay, if you want to first do inside the bracket first, I mean, what was there say work inside the bracket first? You can first divide these, but you cannot move it to the bottom. Okay, you divide it. So 2 goes into itself how many times?
Once.
Once. And 2 goes into 4 twice. Okay?
Yes.
We didn't move it, we worked it out. So now at the top, you'll be left with x squared y cubed over 2xy all to the power of 2. Great. And then Zwanelo, if I am correct, you said x 2 times 2. Is that what you said?
Yes. Yes.
And
And I
y?
said 3 times 2.
There we go. Cool.
Yeah.
But now we
Yes.
have a additional base at the bottom. We still have a 2. We cannot neglect that 2, okay?
Yes.
What do we do with that 2?
Ma'am, don't you times by 2?
Well, you raise it to, we said if there's nothing there, there's a,
1.
there we go, times 2. And then you do the same with x, 1 times 2,
And y 1 times 2.
1 times 2. Brilliant. Let's simplify this. So it will be x
4
4
into the power
y,
of 4 and y into the power of 6.
and at the bottom we have 2.
Wait, is it 2, ma'am? Isn't it 4? Wait, never mind.
Well,
It's 2.
squared,
It's 2 squared
Mhm.
and x squared and y squared.
And y squared. Okay, besides this, I know we're going to simplify the 2 squared and make it a 4. Are we done?
No, ma'am.
What else can we do with this sum?
Ma'am, don't you say, ma'am, x 4, ma'am, minus 2, ma'am.
There we go. Brilliant. So that would be the law's number?
Number 1.
Number 2. Number
Number
2.
2.
So since we are dividing, for everyone who's going to be confused, in case you weren't there in the lesson, we are dividing. So
Yes.
Angelo has so nicely told us that if you're dividing, you have to subtract your exponents. So we're going to have ax 4 minus 2. And then
Yes.
y is going to be?
Y 1 minus 1. I mean, y 2 minus 2, ma'am.
Remember, it's a 6.
Wait, no, 6 minus 2.
Yeah, 6 minus 2. And at the bottom, we still have the 2 squared, which is how much?
Yes. 4.
Yay! Let's simplify. 4 minus 2 is?
2.
2. 6 minus 2
4.
is? 4.
4.
All over 4. Thank you,
4.
Swanel, you are a superstar. Okay?
Thank you.
So for the people who are confused, who might be confused about where we get the 4s and the 2s and everything. So first, we're working with x. So if you are dividing and it's the same base, you have to subtract your exponents. So we said x, top exponent, the numerator, minus the bottom exponent. So we said 4 minus 2. And then we went, I know guys, Bonello is a rock star, and I need my next rock star to get ready because we have another one there that we have to do. Then we went to y's, top exponent, which is 6 minus bottom one, which is 2. The 4 stays at the bottom. Do not move that 4. Okay, it belongs to the bottom. And then we have our final beautiful answer. Okay, let me check hands. Who's going to help me with F? Ntabi saying? Yes, Ntabi saying? Ntabi saying?
I just forgot to mute my mic.
Okay, there we go.
Lower down my hand.
And lower down your hand. Oh, okay. Nzako, you want to help me?
Hi, ma'am.
Hello.
Can we please go back to E because I'm a bit confused.
Okay, where did we lose you?
Why was the 2, like you see 2x, 2x to the x, yeah, you get that top part, right? Why was the 2 taken away and then now it's 1?
Because we divided. Remember? 2 over 4. That's essentially what we had, right? Ignore
Oh,
the variables. So we said 2 goes into itself once. And it goes into 4 how
okay.
many times?
Twice.
Twice. So we just simplified, okay? Do you understand?
Okay. Yes, I do understand.
Wonderful.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, guys, who's gonna help me with F? F, and then we're going to brain break, which is not a brain break. Guys, brain break is not supposed to be harder than the math, but you know. Guys, Vanilla can't be the only one answering. No offense, Vanilla, I love it. But I need someone else to braid this out. Come on. You learn through practice and making mistakes. Even if you're not sure, Tabitha wants to try.
Charity wanted to try F, but I'm trying to
Oh,
unmute her.
Charity,
Hello, ma'am.
there we go. Hi, Charity.
Hi, how are you?
Well, and you?
Okay, good. I'm good, thanks.
Okay, let's go through it.
So, 3x to the power of 2 over negative 4y to the power of 3. So, the first thing that we're going to do is distribute the exponent, which is 2. We are going to distribute it to 3 and multiply it with the exponent 2.
Okay, 3 has an exponent of what currently?
It has an exponent of 1.
Here we go. So when it gets there, it's going to be the one that was already there times,
which is 2.
There we go.
And then x to the power of 2 times 2, which is going to be x to the power of 4.
Okay, we'll do that in the next step. Okay, what happens at the bottom?
We are going to multiply, we're going to distribute the exponent 2 to 4.
Is it just 4?
No, and then we're going to multiply the exponent 3.
Okay, but what's happening there by 4? What happens here?
4 is a negative number, so it
Here
has to
we
be
go.
negative.
It's negative 4. Then there was already a 1, so it's 1 times 2. And then you said with y, what happens?
We are going to multiply the exponent 2 with 3.
Thank you very much. Okay, let's simplify. So in your numerator, you will have 3
to the power of 2.
To the power of 2. And then
and x to the power of 4.
Give me 1 second. To the power of 2 and x to the power of 4. And then in the denominator?
Negative 4 to the power of 2.
And y?
And y to the power of 6.
Wonderful. Now we are not done, okay? We need to simplify
Yeah.
because you can actually work these out. How much is 3 squared?
3 squared is 3 times 3, which is equals to 9.
9. So in the top we have 9x to the power of
To
4.
the power of 4.
And at the
And then
bottom?
we're going to have negative 4 times 4, which is going to be negative 16.
Remember?
Positive 16.
Here we go. It's inside the
because
bracket.
a negative and a negative gives us a positive.
There we go. 16 and your y.
And y to the power of 6.
Thank you very much, Charity. That would be correct. I saw hands shooting up. Guessing we have questions. Beautifully done, Charity. Please mute yourself. There we go. Okay, I'm going to go to the bottom and check if people have questions. Punzile?
Ma'am,
Mm-hmm.
how are you, ma'am?
Well, and you?
Ma'am, do you see there, ma'am, where you say, sorry, I figured it out.
That's good. I'm glad. Sometimes when you say it out loud, you figure it out, guys. Havana?
Hi, ma'am.
Hello.
How are you?
Well, and you?
I'm okay, thank you. Ma'am, I wanted to ask, ma'am, so when you took the 4 and made it into a positive 16, ma'am, is it because you had a negative 4 on one side and another negative on the other to make it a positive?
Yes.
But then,
It's
ma'am, would you
because-
also, if you have a fraction, ma'am, and you want, and let's say you almost get a final answer, but it's negative, would you then put it in like one line to make it positive?
No, let me show you why I did that now. That's a good question. I'm glad you asked it. So if you have, okay, let's do this. Negative 2. Havana, I want you to tell me if there's a difference between the two things I just wrote now.
No, ma'am.
Do you think there's a difference?
Mm,
Everyone in the chat, tell me if you think there's a difference between these two I wrote. So Havana, what is the answer for the first one? Tell me the answer for the first one.
So negative 2 to the power of 2 would just remain as, wait,
Okay, some people say yes, some people say no. People who are saying yes, there's a difference, tell me what the difference is. And people are saying no, tell me what the answer. Brackets mean multiplication, okay? Jeline says no, let's figure this out. Havana, do you see why this is a brilliant question? Causes us to think. Who says there is a difference? I need to know what difference you are seeing. Amahle? Okay,
Hello,
Theo.
ma'am.
Yes, Amahle?
Ma'am, for the first one, the equation wouldn't be complete because that would mean that we have to say negative 2 times 2. Well, the power of 2.
Okay. So is there a difference or is there no difference?
There is a difference.
There is a
Because
difference.
then the second one would it'll be set as an answer, like how would write it as an answer.
Not really. Not really. Wait, what did Theo say? I'm so curious, guys. Promo is getting me. Theo says, the one answer will be positive and the other negative. Theo, you are onto something. Guys, first one says the whole of negative 2 squared. So what it's saying is negative 2 multiplied by negative 2. 2 negatives give you what? Tell me in the chat. What do 2 negatives give you? Thank you, Tiamo. They give you positive 4. Okay, because a negative and a negative will give you a positive. The second one says our negative is not included in our square. Okay, our negative is on the side there. It's negative, but the 2 is squared. In this case, you have a negative and a positive. So your answer will be negative 4. So do you understand why in that question, let's go back. In that question, our negative was inside the bracket. Do we see there? That's why I squared it as well, because it was inside the bracket. Whereas we had a question, I think, before this. Whereas with D, Look where the negative was. Outside there. We left it outside there. Right? We left it outside. We did not apply the exponent to the negative. So you guys need to pay attention where your negative is. It is very, very important. Okay. Let's do a brain break. That is not really a brain break, but it's fine. Let's see who's gonna figure this out first. Tell me if it says tower of 4 squares is shown. The area of each square is a quarter of the area of the square just below it. The bottom one has a length of 16. What is the height of our tower? And if it's too much for you and you would rather just look at a joke, let's look at the joke. The joke is on our right. It says, guys, stop fighting. You're both being irrational. Speaking to the square root of 2 as well as pi. We both know those are 2 irrational numbers. Who wants to try this one for me? Who's going to tell me the answer? So brain break does not a brain break, but it's technically a brain break. It's, you can break your brain, but all the best. Papa says 23, question mark, question mark, question mark. That's too little. I can guarantee you it's not 23. Abisha says, lol, is breaking your brain. Guys, don't blame me. Look, I did not put this up here, okay? If there's anyone you're gonna blame, it ain't me. Come break your brains, Bahulu. Come on. Come on now. 64. Okay, I think we're getting somewhere, but I can't remember if it's even 64. Minentle says ma'am. Minentle's 5 to being like, and then? Only maths that I want. You never give me. You never give me. When I says exponents are easy, yo, I'm so flattered. And then I went. No other way, guys. No other way. The answer is 64. Okay, let's go and try it. So the area of this one would have to be, of course, I'm using a highlighter to write because it broke my brain as well. Even my brain is dead. Dead. Swanello.
Ma'am, I just wanted to give the answer, ma'am.
Okay, what's the answer?
30.
Okay, Swanello says the answer is 30. I'm pretty sure that is the answer. Okay, let's talk about why the answer is 30.
Because, ma'am,
yes.
aren't you supposed to, ma'am, divide by 2 by each one, and then, ma'am, by each one, ma'am, answer you get, ma'am, you add.
Why did you divide by 2? Tell everyone why you divided by 2.
Because, ma'am, isn't it the quarter of the area of the square just below, and each square is not 16 centimeters.
Yes, but a quarter is divided by 4, né?
Because, ma'am, it also gave me the same thing. Because when I said 16 divided by 2, it gave me 8, and then 16 divided by 4 gave me a 4.
I like your message. It's more complicated. It would be more of the higher grades. I didn't think anyone would do it like that, but you are correct. Okay. So if this area would be 64, a quarter, no. Would it be 64? No, guys, it wouldn't be 64.
It'll be 256.
Sorry. So the area at the bottom is 256. 5, 6, and a quarter of that would be, there we go, 64, and a quarter of that would be 16, and a quarter of that would be 4. Now, if this is a square, it means both the sides are equal. So if that's 16, that has to be 16. And to figure out the sides of this one, you would have to say the square root of 64, which would give you 8. And to figure out that one, you would have to say the square root of 16, which would be 4. The last one, you have to say the square root of 4, which would give you 2. And then you're going to have the sides are 16, 8, 4, 2, and you add them, and it will be 30 centimeter. You never give me. I'm done with this stuff. Guys, brain breaks are supposed to give your brains a break. I'm gonna call Sam later and be like, Yazim, Havana, you have entered the era of maths jokes. It's a difficult life. Guys, before we finish off, Thea's laughing. Let's try, of course, this thing's going to do this. Let's try number D and number E. Let's do number D and number E. Take screenshots to try the rest of them. Hands just went up. Let's first try it in our books. I'm giving you guys 5 minutes. In the chat, there's not, make sure people are dying, it's rough. Woo. Let's try number D and E. I think those are the most challenging. No other way. Yeah, number D and E. Yeah. Let's try number D and E. I'll check in with you guys in a few minutes and then we'll correct those and be off to eat because I know you guys like food. I also like food. Don't be offended, guys. As I am right now, I'm making plans. Right, Havana is in the age where Havana is making math jokes. You save yourself. Vanilla, don't worry. It's not bad. You know how to do this, okay?
We're doing C, D, or just doing everything, or we're just doing C?
Just C and just D and E. Well, we're going to discuss D and E, okay?
So
you can try the rest of them, but we're going to discuss D and E. This can't be. Guys, stop it. I can't stop talking. You see now. Okay, I see hands. I don't know if it's answering your questions. Sure. I see new hands, so I'm excited. Spiwe?
Hello, ma'am.
Hello.
I think it's going to be, I'm doing D, ma'am.
Okay, let's do D.
I think it's going to be negative 2m cubed. Times 4
times 4. Remember, this 4 is only next to the bracket. There?
Yes, ma'am.
You see why we did this one? So
Yes,
this 2, negative 2m cubed, doesn't get affected by the 4. You just leave it on the side there until you deal with it again. Okay. Let's work inside the bracket. So if you distribute this 4 to this m that's inside the bracket, tell me what I must write.
M4, ma'am.
Yes, because it's 1 times 4. And then?
Then n to power 2.
Just 2? Check again. We're distributing it. Everyone's getting it. So it's going to be 2
times 4.
Times 4. Thank you. Which is going to give us negative 2m cubed m4n. What's 2 times 4?
8, ma'am.
8. Are we done?
No, ma'am.
What do we still have to do? Check. We have a base, the same base here. We have 2 m's. We have to fix that, ne?
Yes, ma'am. M to power 3.
M, I can't hear you properly anymore.
M to power 3 times 4.
It's not times. Remember, now we have two m's. Law number one said what? You have two of the same base and you are multiplying, then you add.
We are adding exponents.
There we go. So we're going to say m
2 power 3 plus 4.
plus 4. Brilliant. And then we just simplify. So it'll be negative 2m7 in 8. Thank you very much, Spiwe. Spiwe is vanished. Thank you very much. Fellow.
Hello, ma'am.
Hello, are we doing E?
Yes, can I try?
Yes, please. Let's hear.
Okay, so we're gonna say x1 to the x to the power one, the invisible 1 times 2, y to the power 2 times 2, z to the power 1 times 2. Times 2.
All over.
And then to the other one, we go x1
And?
times 2, y 2 times 2. And then the final answer
But
is
at the
gonna give
bottom,
us,
right?
yes,
Y has an exponent of 1, not 2.
2 times, oh, 1,
There we go. You see that?
yes. And then
Okay,
the
let's
final,
simplify.
it's gonna give us 3 x to the power 2, y to the power 4, z to the power 2,
Over.
x to the power 2, and y to the power 2.
Are we done?
No.
No, we are not done. What do we need to do?
We need to remove the brackets, I think.
Okay, before that, let's see inside the brackets. What does law number 2 say? If you have the same base and you are dividing,
it
what happens?
cancels out.
It doesn't cancel. What happens to the exponent?
We
In this
subtract.
case, there we go. Okay, so we still have our 3 that's outside, but in this case, x squared and x squared will cancel out, right? Because it's
Yes.
actually x squared divided by x squared. Anything divided by itself is 1, it's gone.
Yes.
And then with
And
y,
then y 4 minus 2 is gonna give us 2, y to the power 2.
thank you. And then the z, you just write it the way it is, né?
Yes, because it doesn't have a partner.
Because it doesn't have a partner. I love it. You're gonna take my job. I'm gonna haunt you. There we go. Thanks, fellow.